Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Snowy Paws here, and today I have made a tier list of the AOC heroes for the human race. And before we get started, I just want to point out that second Cleo right there is supposed to represent Lunella, since I couldn't really, add her in. So that second Cleo is just Lunella, okay? And also make sure to take into consideration that this is solely for the human race. Not for Dwarf, not for Rakan, this is solely for human. So, yeah, Grimm's isn't gonna be, S tier. Grimm's would be S tier if it was Dwarf, which I'll probably make another video on later. But for human, he's not that great. That's why he's in C tier. So just make sure that you're taking this into consideration from the viewpoint of a human player. Of course, also, I might not always be right. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. So you guys have that job of correcting me. You can comment down below, which ones that you want to switch and whatnot. I'm going to go through my reasoning for every single one. The tiers, there's no order inside the tiers whatsoever. But, I mean, it's just the ones I put in first. I mean, I probably could order them, but, I mean, I just didn't really feel like it because I'm lazy. Anyway, let's get started. Elena, S tier, obviously. Saving lives. Call the Cavalry is pretty useful. Saving lives most importantly, though, because, saving lives maxed out plus Vega saving lives, that's a 96% injury rate. That means you won't be losing any troops whatsoever. Maybe, one or two, but, still, that's very, 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 very good. And also, she has magic resistance, which really helps against, mages, if they're stupid enough to use mages. Or, Lich mages, I'm talking about. And it just helps out in the hero duels because they resist Avril's ice shards and whatever. That's pretty much it. She also has strategic retreat, which is kind of helpful if your siege machine's gonna die, I guess, or your dragon's gonna die, and then you don't want them getting a morale boost. But that's pretty much my reasoning behind Elena. Elena is definitely a must-have for human. I mean, you can play without Elena. It's just she's really, really good. She's probably the #1 hero for human. And then Avalon, of course, there's Audit Aura, and then there's Archer Mastery, and then there's Natural Leader, which would probably make him at least A tier in every single race, and makes him Warhorn. But Audit Aura and not summon archers, Archer Mastery really, really, really benefits humans, so that's why he's up there. Viron, no brainer. Later on, use Swordsman, Resurrect at the end of siege battle, so you don't lose a single Swordsman. There's also Crusader Shield, which makes it so if you get a morale boost, a lot of damage reduction to prevent a morale collapse right after that. He also has yeah, he didn't really have much else from that, but he's also a paladin, so he could get rally if you're a light spender and you don't have Teodrin or Lunella, or yeah, so you could definitely get rally on him. And yeah, he's just a really good hero, especially later on when you're using footmen over spearmen, because they have more survivability. Next, Vega, another no-brainer. Favorite of the Sun God, saving lives. No other explanation. Favor provides a huge amount of overall healing. Just keeps your front line up, and your back line if you're getting blizzarded or something. And saving lives, once again, paired with Elena saving lives, that's a total of 16% extra injury rate, and that means that none of your troops will die, and troops get really expensive, so yeah. Jax is up here really for the pure damage output. I actually had Yip up here before just because of Tailwind, but Jax damage output is really, really strong. I was gonna put all the damage output heroes just in A, but I mean, Jax is a bit too strong. So I'm just going to put him in S for now. A tier, Denji, great tank, best tank in the game, best survivability, spin strike increases damage by 30%, and he has really, 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 really good, stuns and CC, and, Dumpling makes it so that I can't die, so basically just a way better tank than Bane now, lots of CC, really good. Next, I put Avril up here just because she has really, really high DPS if you have, high-level ice shards on her. And she can, one-shot most things. I mean, that's from what I've seen. I I know some people might have like Valari instead of Avril up here, but I prefer Avril in my opinion. yeah, I prefer Avril over Valari. That's why Valari's all the way down in B tier. But I just think that Avril does a lot of damage. Also, Ice Wall provides flexibility to counter like a charge. It's just like Avril's good in my opinion. She's all around a very good hero because she has the damage output and like the block with the ice block. But a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on this one. But anyway, Fenris A tier, pure damage output, goes to the backline. Sure, wolves can get like killed and stuff, but he's still a really good overall character. Not much to really say except for damage output and just being annoying. Yip, as I told you, I had him in S tier, and then I guess Tailwind wasn't enough to just purely put him in S tier, so that's why he's in A tier, but Tailwind's really good. Cleo, obviously creation, first ability that you always cast in a match or a duel. Usually you want it to be able to like instantly cast it, so there's no cooldown time. Great CC, completely disables like a whole area. That's pretty much it. And if you're playing like a different race, Eclipse would probably put her in like S. But like for human, it's all humanoid units, so Eclipse is very bad for you. Lunella, which is obviously that Cleo right there, because I was too lazy to actually find a picture of Lunella. Pure damage output, CC from Moonlight Spears. High damage output to high health people with the Moonlight, I forget what it's called, but like that spinny thing that shoots out bullets. She's pretty survivable, or she has a pretty good survivability with the shield and being invincible while stance changing. Yeah, pretty much just output and damage. B tier Talk, because humans generally favor grassland battlefields, and I believe Talk lowers morale drop with his, I forget what I think it was Tank Shugi Master or something. I probably pronounced that wrong. But it was like T something Master, and it decreases morale drop in grasslands, and that's basically where humans get their buffs. So if you're fighting on a grassland, and since humans' main weakness is morale drop, I mean, not when you have swordsmen and like Veer on Resurrection, but like still, that's their main weakness, and Talk really lowers that for them. And also, he acts as a turtle if you have like the thing that makes it so after 2 abilities, he increases attack speed and damage. I believe that's how it works, at least. Mako. I was debating whether to put Mako in A or B tier, just because I know he could get really strong if you buff him up. And if you like focus on him, he could get really, really high DPS. But from my experience, even if I did buff him, I don't really... He does like single target, so it's just like... If there are a lot of people attacking, in my opinion, the single target's not gonna... Yes, he does have like... I believe it's Crack Shot, which does area damage. But like... it's just not that much area damage. It's such a small area that like single target is just not really that strong for me. Even though I know he could do really, really, really high amounts of damage later on. I'm still going to put him in B tier. You guys are going to disagree. You're probably going to tell me to switch Avril and Mako, maybe put Valari in A, but whatever. Teodrin, I don't really know too much about this. All I know is that it counters Lich, and Lich can be sometimes annoying against human, even though I'm pretty sure this human's supposed to be the best counter, but I might be wrong. At least it used to be, I don't know. But just being able to completely counter off a race, that's pretty good. I know she got nerfed in the last one, but like whatever. Rose, pure damage output. Spider legs provide tanks. Spider web obviously just slows down movement speed. Just overall, just like an extra spider that happens to like do stuff, and you don't have to be Lich to use it, so it's not bad. Now let's see, Bane. Bane got heavy nerfed from the launch. Bane, he's not that good anymore because if he gets focused, he's actually gonna die. Like, if Denji gets focused, you could just pop a dumpling and it'll be fine. But if Bane gets focused, or if, like, he provokes with a ferocious charge, there's a good chance he'll just die now instead of actually being able to take it. That's why he's in B tier, but he's still a decent tank, like, yeah. Valari, I was debating whether to put Valari in A or B, but honestly, I really don't think Valari has that much use. She's like Avril, except in my opinion, she's like a bit worse, just because I know I'm pretty sure she has like higher damage output. Yeah, I understand that she has higher damage output, but you have to cast Fire Dance for that damage output to actually come alive. So, I mean, I'd rather, like, cast a favor, a creation, then a favor, then, like, depending on how the battle goes, I'll probably go from there. I'll most likely not need the Fire Dance at that point. And even if I do, I'd rather cast, like, Spray and Prayer or a Firestorm. So, I don't, or, like, a Dumpling if my Denji's getting low. So, I don't really think, because of the fact that you need to cast an ability for her DPS to really become active, I don't really think that Valari's that good. But that could be just my opinion, and I could just be totally mistaken, so I don't know. Sprig. Let's see, Sprig. He's just not that good. He has Arrow Storm, which I guess does damage, but without Guardians, his Spirit Link does absolutely nothing. Forest Guard, I mean, it's okay. But just in general, he's not that good for human. Same thing with Grimm's. The only thing he's really useful for is probably Siege Mastery and maybe reload ammunition for, like, Jax. But, like, that's Jax. And, like, if you don't have Jax, that doesn't... Like, if you're human, that doesn't mean you have Jax. Nora. I actually don't really know that much about Nora, so I just put her in C tier. Please educate me, Nora people, in the comments. Gone. His ultimate or, like, big ability thing doesn't affect any of the human troops. Twisting Thorns is great CC, so is Earthquake, but I just don't really think it's worth. Maybe he could go up to B tier, maybe super low A tier if I, like, understand better, but, like, I don't really think just because of Twisting Thorns Earthquake, he really deserves, like, to be up there with, like, Mako and stuff, so yeah. Balrog, I understand he can slow down enemies and stuff, but he's a 3 energy hero, and he's really underwhelming for a 3 energy hero, in my opinion. That's why he's in C tier. Now let's go to useless Gozel, because he's a Lich hero, and most of his abilities revolve around skeletons and, like, lowering morale, so the only thing that might be useful is Soul Scourge, but even that's, like, not worth putting him in a higher tier. Gothgar, I don't really know much about him. All I know is that he's pretty much mostly useful for Dwarf. I guess Iron Shield, I don't really know what that does, but I'm guessing it's important. Raxius. Even for undead, he's not that good, so Raxius. And then Rufio. Good old Rufio. Obviously, he's the worst character probably in the game. The most useless one. Gets pretty much insta-killed later on. Has 2 CC abilities, but, like, really doesn't do anything. Gets stunned way too much, has no, like, game-changing thing. That's why he's in useless tier, because he does absolutely nothing. That's literally what useless means. So, that's pretty much it for my tier list. If you guys disagree, make sure you comment down below. Make sure to like the video, or dislike it if you really hated my tier list, but I don't encourage that, because I really feel depressed if someone dislikes my video. Anyway, make sure you guys subscribe. I'll probably come out with another Dwarf tier list, maybe, or Sylvani tier list, or maybe just overall, who knows, but I'll keep probably doing this tier list, and thank you all for watching, and see you next time.